Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch. Yeah.
I swear one time I'm going to start Dave's show when he's out and not be surprised the show is starting. I mean, everything happens so
We were pretty
fast.
surprised today.
Yeah, you were getting coffee.
I was getting coffee.
I didn't have anything in front of me. I don't have my computer plugged in. I couldn't find my headphones. Might be too inside.
But we got a little Chicago bringing us in. I love Chicago.
Do you?
Love Chicago.
Top 5 band?
Probably top 5
Am
band,
I putting you on
yeah.
this? Am I
No, I think they're probably top 5
Top
band.
5 artist? Do you call
maybe
bands
not.
artists?
I don't. I think they're
singular?
different categories.
Different
Because
categories.
a lot goes into a singular act. You know, when you have a group, there's more collective. You know, brains, heads. You can put it all together to come up with something.
That's why Penn and Teller do their magician act together rather than
Exactly.
going solo.
Exactly. Then solo.
Yeah, and you will. So let me start where I was going to start. Now, this kind of is a little bit awkward because now we're, 2 minutes into the show now, Bryant? And what I really wanted to talk about for that 2-minute stretch was something different.
I'm sorry.
No. It's not your fault. It's my fault. I wasn't ready to go at the jump.
Right.
So I'll just get into this now. Bleep Aaron Boone.
Oh.
If you don't know Aaron Boone, Bryant,
Uh-huh.
he's the head coach of the Yankees.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday, the Yankees, they played at 7 o'clock, you
They
see?
did.
Played a 7 o'clock game. First of all, don't forget he walked Miguel Cabrera. Remember that when Miguel was
When
on the verge of
he wanted the
3,000?
3,000,
The
yeah.
first base was open, so they had to intentionally walk him.
Well, I mean-
It's an April baseball game. The guy's on the verge of 3,000 hits, and we're going to intentionally walk him because that's what we have to do to win this
He
baseball
had
game.
3 at-bats before that.
Give me a break. You're playing the Tigers, too. It's not like the winning percentage against the Tigers is any kind of differentiator to making the playoffs.
Were they winning that game or losing that game?
I don't know.
Because I feel like that game was also out of hand, so it was like there's no point.
Oh, that's
in
exactly great call,
watching
Bryant.
it.
You're exactly
Thank
right. The
you.
game was absolutely out of hand too. Excellent memory by you. So then last night, Aaron Boone comes around. This guy, Aaron Boone. Oh, give me a break with this jamoke. So Aaron Boone comes out here last night. They play a 7 o'clock game, Bryant.
Yeah,
there
against
was
the Orioles.
There was 5 games yesterday between 7 and 9. Only one 9 o'clock game. It was between the Rangers and the Angels yesterday. Okay.
Reed Detmer's on the bump.
So I'm sorry, I said 7 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock Central Time, so 6 o'clock local time. So it's like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, this is insane. It's 4:30, an hour and a half till game time, and I'm like, this is crazy. The Yankees still haven't submitted a lineup card yet, but I guess, maybe around an hour before. I thought hour and a half maybe is the gauge for when you have to get it in. Well, they couldn't get it in. Then it gets to an hour. I'm like, maybe they're going to get it in now. They're the last 6 o'clock game to not get a lineup in. Then
Which is very abnormal because most teams get their lineups in like
and
3
3
or 4
o'clock
hours
for a 6
before,
o'clock
yeah.
game. So excellent point. Thank you for the addition. So then you had the Rangers and Angels, and I see the Rangers lineup get in. And this is a 9 o'clock game, and it's 5 o'clock, and I see the Rangers lineup get in. I'm like, what in the world? Then the Angels coming in right afterwards. So the Yankees are the last team while playing a 7 o'clock game with a 9 o'clock game. The rosters are already in. The lineups for that day already in.
Yeah.
The Yankees don't get it in because Aaron Boone. Turns out Stanton was going on the IL, and he's trying to keep it as close to the start time as possible so no one gets any information. What is this, high school baseball? What, are you coaching a small college? I don't understand. Just submit your lineup. What kind of advantage do you get by people not knowing that Stanton is in the lineup tonight?
I was about to say, baseball feels like the sport that you wouldn't have to do that in. Like it's baseball, just you pitch it, you hit it,
They don't want to get you scouting report if maybe there's a guy that you weren't expecting and, they got their cards and their hats. They don't want you to they need you to prepare
Pitch
beforehand,
comp
maybe.
stuff. Right, yeah.
I don't know what the reason
Yeah,
is.
Cardinals
All I
usually
know
pitch
is
comp now.
bleep Aaron Boone. I mean, I
Not a
can't
fan of
stand
that.
this guy.
Well, it's because you really
this
didn't
guy.
care for it because you're now doing daily fantasy every day. So you're doing all this, and you got to know the lineup.
I need to know the lineup. It's very
I see.
important because
Yeah.
my daily fantasy projections have 10 Yankees players hitting.
It was also,
And they can only hit 9. I don't know if you know baseball. 9
yeah,
people hit
9 guys.
versus 10.
Well, when I played baseball,
Back in your day.
12 people hit. Yeah,
Everybody
everybody on the
hits.
roster hit.
Everybody hits.
But they also had a bullpen night. The Yankees.
The Yankees did. Yeah, no, but the starter actually went like 4 innings though.
He had a good.
He didn't
good
even allow a
night.
run.
No, he had a good night.
Like 4 hits. I took him out of my projections anyway.
Schmidt?
See, that's why. Is that his name?
Yeah,
see, that's
Clark
Brian.
Schmidt.
Why I wanted to start the show with that because no one cares about what the Yankees did yesterday.
But you
I
do.
felt like the start of the show was a good time to get my agenda off the ground.
Get it out of there.
And the agenda today
Right.
is bleep Aaron Boone.
Boone.
I hate that stuff.
I feel like that's a repeating agenda for a lot of people.
Yeah,
A lot
well,
of
he's
baseball fans.
2 strikes this year. I mean, this guy's a quack. Like, does like high school baseball coaching stuff while coaching the New York bleeping Yankees.
What about,
and you know what the worst part is, Bryant?
what?
Is nobody criticizes him. Apparently, he's like the nicest guy in the world, or he just has friends all around baseball. So everyone on MLB Network is his friend.
Yeah.
He used to work at ESPN, so all those guys like him. Nobody criticizes
Right.
him. He's a quack. You know who else is a quack?
Who?
David Ross. I didn't even mean to get on this tangent,
yeah,
too.
you're not a
But
fan of
I
David
hate
Ross.
Dave. This guy, the most average baseball player ever. He played
was.
5 good baseball games in his life. It just happened to be in the World Series, and now we treat this guy like he's a god. He's now coaching the Chicago Cubs. Please, David Ross. But that's an aside. It really was all
That's
about
your
bleeding Aaron
tangent.
Boone.
Yeah. What else? Didn't Aaron Boone do something else? You said he had 2 strikes. Didn't he do something else?
Miggy, that's what I'm saying. Miggy.
But no, wasn't there a third thing at the beginning of the year that everybody was getting mad at him for?
I thought it was that. Miggy.
But
I did think of something
But I
else,
think
too,
there was
but
like
that's what I
a
landed
smaller
on was
thing
Miggy.
with like something about like home runs or something like that. Like
Oh, no,
what was
no.
that?
That was the opposing coach.
That was the Rangers.
The Rangers coach,
yeah.
because the Yankees hit a
'Cause the
walk-off
short
home
porch.
run to the short porch,
Yeah.
and he goes, "This is a
It's a
little
real
league
little league ballpark. That's right. That's right.
Anyway, we should probably talk about the big news from last night, Bryant,
Uh-huh.
which is the Celtics and Heat playing the under hit. The line was set at 203 and the under hit.
Yeah.
I did not believe that for a second.
I didn't either.
But it did, and I think the biggest reason why, I said this yesterday too, I think the way that these series have gone where one team wins by 20 and the other team wins by 20 the next game shows how good the coaching adjustments have been. And in Game 4, and how good these coaches are. And in Game 4, the Celtics made an adjustment that caused Miami to have to shoot a lot of jump shots, which they weren't making many of, and their offense looked totally inept.
Right.
And they continued doing that last night. But the Heat also made an adjustment now to make the Celtics offense look totally inept. Save for the third quarter, maybe where they made a lot of threes. But I think that was more evidence. Like, I think a lot of people might come on today and say, what a stinker. Nobody
Yeah.
could score. That was one of the best
No,
defensive
it was a really good
games
defensive game.
I've ever seen.
Well, it's kind of last night seemed to be the game that a lot of people were expecting the series to be very defensive heavy, low scoring. I mean, ESPN and everything. I mean, you turn on the TV any channel before the series started, and everybody was talking about how defensively
No one's gonna
sound
score.
is. Yeah, and the first 3 games didn't have that. And then obviously you have injuries, all that stuff. But last night, no. Last night was a great defensive game. Do you think Jimmy Butler is still? I mean, 4 for 18 last night. Do you think he's still kind of going through it with that injury?
I didn't even think of that. Maybe so. No, I don't. I don't think so.
You just think it was great defense?
I'll tell you, yeah, I'll get more into that in a minute. I want to start with the Celtics, though, but I don't. I want to start with like I said, I want to start with the Celtics and the way they played last night. Well, first of all, I want to say this about overarching general. Let me get my thoughts in order before I just start rambling on. The game in general with the defensive matchup, I think that these two offenses, maybe not the Celtics, I can't remember what their rating was going into the series, but the Heat had the best half-court offense in the playoffs coming into this series. So their
They got a lot
offense
of
is
weapons.
their offense is very good.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. And the Celtics also have an excellent offense with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and the way Al Horford's been playing,
Yeah.
and Grant Williams has been able to score off the bench in some games too. So the Celtics offense is also very good. I do not think this is an indictment of these two teams' offenses last night. It shows how good the defenses are and how good the coaches are at scheming that they can hold these kind of teams to such a low scoring number. So let me start with the Celtics here. Jason Tatum, for instance, let's just start with him, is something incredible. The way he scores, 22 points, 12 and 9.
Yeah, he's awesome.
It's unbelievable. And he scores in unbelievable ways. Like he catches the ball in the wing. Maybe he'll come off a ball screen. Maybe sometimes he just takes his guy one-on-one. He gets to like the elbow or the free throw line about 15 feet and just takes the ball almost to the floor to
Yeah.
rip through, and then he turns and jump shot. The degree of difficulty to take the ball from the ground,
Yeah.
turn and shoot a fadeaway jump shot off the dribble is remarkable. It's like otherworldly. This guy is one of the best players in the world, and like the more I think about the narratives here, I can see the Celtics winning the championship with this guy as the
wow.
star.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
guy is a superstar in this league. And people point to the turnovers he's had. I'm rambling now, Brian. You're not getting a
No,
chance
no,
to
you're
talk.
good. You're good. This
But
is great.
the turnovers that I've seen from Jason Tatum, he had 5 last night. In the
yeah.
game, they lost by a lot. What do you have, like 7 or 9 or something? I think he had a lot last
Well, that
game.
was a rough one. They had, like, as a team, they had,
a
like,
ton.
24 or
But
something.
I think he gets a lot, and Jaylen Brown gets a lot.
I was about to say, he also had 4 last night.
Because 9 between the two of them. I think it's specifically because of the kinds of shots you get with those guys. Like I just described with Tatum, dribbling, taking the ball to the free throw line. That's a ball dominant possession where you have the ball by yourself. If someone comes from help that you don't see or something happens when you're taking the ball to the teeth of the defense, you're going to turn it over. And the Celtics clearly live with that.
Right.
So I think that's why the turnover numbers have been high. And I think people are always going to point to that in a Celtics loss. Saying, did you see how he cost them the game with all those turnovers?
Yeah.
No, but it happens in wins too. I just think it's.
So you think it's just something they're going to have to deal with?
Well, it's the only turnovers they have. You know, it's not like
Right.
Marcus Smart's turning the ball over a lot too, or Pritchard comes in and turns over a lot.
I mean, they turned the ball over 15 times,
And
but
they had 9
of
between the
them
two
were
of them.
between the two
So
of
it's
them,
just the nature of the shots they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's indicative of like bad offense or turning the ball over, even in a loss.
Right.
Also, Derek White.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the defense he played last night. I'm a little skeptical of his defense sometimes.
29 minutes off the bench.
He played incredible on defense. It was unbelievable. He had like 4 deflections. He had 2 steals. He played great. He played good offense too, but I was really impressed by his defense.
Right.
And finally, I think the 2 most important players on the Celtics, the difference in the series, Al Horford and Robert Williams. Al Horford yesterday contested 17 shots. Robert Williams contested 11.
Wow.
28 of the misses were contested by those 2 guys. And you add in Grant Williams, contested 10 more by himself. The only 3 players in the game with double-digit contests were those 3 guys. All played on the same team. All played on the floor at the same time in certain stretches. And that also speaks to why the defense is so tough for against the Heat. But more on that in a minute. What they're able to do forcing Jimmy Butler away from the basket. Jimmy Butler's game is predicated on getting to the rim.
Oh, yeah.
Getting fouled, doing all these things. And what they've been able to do with putting Robert Williams down there is forcing him to take mid-range jump shots and threes. And it's not that he can't make those or he's a bad shooter, but it just means he's not getting fouled and going to the free throw line. And the percentage he's going to shoot. So the question you asked is, do you think him being injured plays a factor? I don't. I think it's Robert Williams being on the floor and being healthy. If Robert Williams and Al Horford stay healthy too, I have a hard time seeing this team losing going forward.
What do you think about
I hope the Heat win.
those 2 defensively against Bam?
Okay, so let's get to the Heat thing. Great question. Thank you very much. Let's start. I have an order here that I'm going through. So I'm going to start with Max Strus. I'm going to get to your question in a second. I don't know why I'm rambling so much on basketball today, but I am. Gabe Vincent, I thought played really.
It's not like you've played basketball before.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Football expert. Gabe Vincent, I thought, played really well last night on defense specifically, but he played well on offense too. And he's a really good player that's had a rough go because of the perimeter defense of the Celtics in this series. Max Strus is just being handcuffed. You're seeing that defense evident in Max Strus.
Right.
And the thing, I love the Heat, Brian. I am definitely biased to the Heat in this series. I like them way more than the Celtics. Much as I like the Celtics and the great players they have.
Yeah.
I'm so biased to the Heat. I've watched them a lot this year. Love Gabe Vincent. I love this kid Strus, Max Strus. Love him. And he's been handcuffed this entire series because of how good the perimeter defense of the Celtics is. And I feel like everyone's going to say, see, I hadn't heard of this guy before this series. I hadn't heard him he's not scoring now. Yeah. What a bum. If they would replace that guy, he'd be good. No, this guy is really good.
Really good,
He's I think he's 2nd or 3rd year undrafted player. Really good player, has played great all year. It just speaks to how good the perimeter when Derek White's coming off the bench and also giving you great perimeter defensive minutes, that's huge. So then you have Brown and Tatum playing defense on the perimeter with Smart and Derek White. If you bring in Grant Williams and play with Al Horford and Robert Williams, that is stifling defense both on the perimeter and inside. It's hard for anybody to get going in that respect. Max Strus is a really good player. I hope people don't take what he's done in the series too seriously and not think he's a good player. To me, I need more out of Bam. This is the question you just asked me. 3 of 5 in Game 4, I think. He was 8 of 15 last night. I think he took the 2nd most shots on the team for the Heat. I think he had the most points on the team. But I think he is the problem in the series. He is not taking over enough.
Right.
He's being way too unselfish. Bam Adebayo could easily be, and it's hurting his potential. So I'm not saying he has to be like Karl Anthony Towns level selfish, but at a certain point, if you're being too unselfish, you're no longer reaching the
Right.
potential that you should be playing at. And Bam Adebayo could be one of the best players in this league.
Oh, yeah.
And they need him if Robert Williams is playing in the paint and Al Horford and these guys are protecting the paint where we're not going to foul Jimmy Butler and not let him get to the rim. Bam has to do something. And what Bam does in these moments, he shot more last night, but what he does is, let me see if I can screen assist to get Jimmy going. Let me see if I can facilitate to get Jimmy or Max going or Kyle Lowry going. And that's not what Bam needs to do, man.
Right.
You have to shoot like 20 times a game plus. Shoot 25 times. You have to be the one to take over because you have to make Robert Williams and Al Horford and whoever's matched up with you, you've got to make them guard you. Even if you go, let's say, 7 for 25. Whatever Dylan Brooks went in the game that everyone wanted to trade him.
Yeah.
You know, like 7 for 25, 7 for 26. You being willing to take those shots and draw the defense helps Jimmy Butler.
Right.
It helps Kyle Lowry. It helps Max Strus. It might help Duncan Robinson to get going from 3. It might help Gabe Vincent to get going. Might help, probably not Oladipo. But it helps all these guys
Right.
get going. And I want to see Bam do a lot more. I need him to be way more aggressive if the Heat are going to have a chance to win this series. The end.
I was, and you kind of mentioned, I was going to ask about Duncan Robinson.
That was a monologue.
It was a monologue, but it was good.
Thank
It's
you.
very informative. What about Duncan Robinson? I mean, not a great game last night.
Yeah, but
I mean, what was he like?
4 of 12, I think.
But what was he from 3?
3 of 10. But to the same token I just talked about with Bam, the willingness to take the 25 shots when
Right.
Robert Williams is taking you out of it, I think that's the thing that Duncan Robinson has gotten over that hump really well. And I think Eric Spoelstra talks about trying to instill this in him, is you being willing to take 15
Yeah, you
shots a
gotta
night,
go and shoot.
regardless if they're going in, forces the defense to have to ride that screen that you're coming
Right.
off of and guard you on that shot. It's when you stop shooting, especially if you're Duncan Robinson,
'Cause then they don't got to worry about you.
and you're detriment. It's not like
Right.
you're a defensive superstar. You become detrimental at that point when you stop shooting. And so I think what Duncan Robinson, even though it's like 4 of 12, 4 threes is fine, or 3
Yeah.
threes is fine for the night, even though he shot 10. I don't think with the Heat you can get too caught up in the percentages
Right.
because they have guys that literally come in to play super specific roles. It's been a
That
great
is true.
series, though.
Well, I've not heard that sentiment from many people.
Because it's been too many blowouts. But it speaks to how, I'm telling you, I think it speaks to how good the coaches are, man.
No,
The
these are
fact
two
that they
really
can
good
make
coaches.
adjustments after getting blown out
Yeah.
and change the game entirely. Last night, the fact that they can both have such a good game plan defensively to take the other team out of what they're doing, that it's like there's 40 points from each team at halftime. That's incredible
Yeah, no,
coaching.
and you're not wrong about that. It was literally like 40
You know what I
something
mean?
to 40 something.
Other than the third quarter when the Celtics just got hot from
Yeah.
3, that's a totally defensive dominant game.
Oh, yeah.
And even by the Heat, too. The Heat gave up 93 points last night. So I think at the end of the day, even though I just said if Robert Williams and Al Horford stay healthy, I think they can win the championship. It's still just one game, and you just held the team
Yeah.
to 93 points. You get going a little bit. Maybe Bam gets more aggressive.
Yeah.
Because Spo's a lot smarter than I am. I could see that being something that they go to, because you can't make any defensive adjustments after giving up 93 points. You got it. You made them look foolish and take them out of what they want to do.
Right.
Last thing on this series in this game is yesterday I took the Celtics plus 330 to win in 6 games, plus 300. Really, I mean, I'd bet against my parents for plus 300. You know what I mean? That's a great price. And then today I'm looking at the money line for the Heat game, and they're plus 310 for Game 6. So I'm going to bet on that too, and I'm going to steal $100 from
Either way,
Vegas.
you're getting money. How about that?
How about that?
Good for you.
Thank you, Brian.
I wish I had hopped on something like that.
Well, if you would listen to Harden, that's not the name of the show. Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Oh, did you?
Harden isn't even in the name of the show. If you had listened to Happy Hour with Johnny Radio, though, Brian, you would have heard
I would
me.
have known that.
You would have heard me say that.
I was at work yesterday, so I couldn't really hear that. I want to ask you this question. I want to pose this question to you that our buddy Gabe Kuhn posed on Sports Time
With
a couple days with Gabe and Stats.
on Sports 56
On
every
Sports
day from
56,
3 to 6.
3 to 6. He posed this maybe after game 1 of this series, maybe it was last series, I don't remember. Is Jimmy Butler a star or a superstar?
I don't know how to answer that. What's your John? You're not John.
I'm not John.
Bryant, is Jimmy Butler a star or a superstar? You answer first and give me time to think and figure out how to answer this question.
I'd say he's close to a superstar. I don't know if I'd put him in superstar.
What's he missing?
I don't know.
How can you have it both ways, though?
What do you
Everyone's
mean?
saying that he has to put on a Superman cape in order for the Heat to even win one game in this series because he's the only player on the team.
He's not the only player on the team.
I
You're
don't
saying
agree
what
that.
the public is
This is what
saying.
people say, is that he's the only player on the team,
Right.
but he's also not a superstar.
Right.
Well, it's hard for me to see
I
a
guess
team
you have to be a
that
superstar
the only
then.
player on the team goes to the Eastern Conference
Right.
Finals and might even take the series to 7 games. I don't think he'd do that without a superstar. So what is he then? He's just a star. Not good enough.
No, you're kind of convincing me he might be a superstar.
He's absolutely a superstar. Top 10 player in the game.
Really?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Top 5?
Nah, you might be getting a little aggressive.
Okay.
Because you have to have, if you go by just this year, you have to have Antetokounmpo.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have Jokic. You have to have Embiid. You have to have Luka.
Yeah.
And you have to have Devin Booker. And then 6th would be Jason Tatum.
So Devin Booker's in your... Oh, Devin Booker over Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, based on just this year alone, I would.
Right.
Devin Booker turned into an MVP candidate this year.
No, he was awesome.
Because not only can he score in bunches, but he's also a plus defender, which is the thing that holds back a lot of guys that are good on offense from being legitimate MVP
I was about
candidates.
to say, you don't see that a lot, especially from perimeter guys.
Yeah.
Especially guys who shoot a lot of threes. They're not super.
But that's how you can set yourself apart.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, well,
Brian,
you
I think
convinced me.
thank you, Brian. So, superstar then.
Superstar.
Mark it down.
Jimmy Butler, number
Officially.
one player in the league.
You know, if you want to tell us what you think Jimmy Butler is, you can hit us up on the AutoZone text and listener line, 901-360-8255.
Let's go, Jay.
I remember the number,
Let's go.
Brian. That's why Brian's so excited, because I never remember the number.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you. Brian, we need to take a break. Okay. Oh, before we take a break, Brian, we'll do our little version of an ad read. Where are we sitting, Brian? Where are we in this great studio?
We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Vacation at home sale. Enjoy time with your family in your own backyard. Play gyms and trampolines, $500 off. Hot tubs in stock and ready to go, up to $1,000 off when picked up. Do it yourself. Pool specials. Save up to $15,000 on all in-stock pools when you pick up the pool and install yourself. Patio furniture in stock and ready to pick up. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
Did you see, before we go to break here, did you see Tyler Herro's attire last night?
I didn't see as much of the attire as much as his facial hair.
Yeah, well, that's a great place to start, is the pencil-thin goatee, like Tony Stark-esque.
Uh-huh. But, like, not even
Not even
Tony
that thick.
Stark. Yeah,
not even that
way
thick.
thinner than
Way
that.
thinner. He had, like, brown sunglasses. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
there's some kind of designer that I don't understand. He had a white button-down shirt with, like, 3 buttons undone where it looked like he was exposing his chest hair, but it wasn't chest hair. It was a chest tattoo.
Oh, he has a chest tattoo.
He looked, and then he had his flat top going. High top, flat top. It's not probably flat. It's probably just high.
Yeah.
High flat top. But the thing is Tyler Hero, with all that together, if we painted a good enough picture for you, looks like he has gotten into some cocaine while living in Miami.
Well, Miami, it's a great place to start.
He looks like Tony Montana. Honestly.
He really does,
Like,
though.
you walk in there, you see a comical pile of cocaine on a desk, and behind it stands Tyler Hero the way he
Hero.
was dressed last night. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Bryant is going to do some sleight of hand magic. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. I love how Memphis loves golf, even city government. Overton Park is getting redone, Pine Hill is being completely renovated, and Fox Meadows is getting new greens. Public golf has never been better. There's a new app for your phone, Memphis Public Links, where you can make tee times, view special offers, get tournament information, find out the latest golf news, and virtually stay in touch. You can download it at the Apple App Store. There are several new golf tournaments this year, including the Mayor's Cup, and there will be a Player of the Year based on performances throughout the season. You can't beat Memphis golf. Galloway is in perfect shape. Audubon, right in the heart of the Poplar Corridor, is a true test of golf for any level of player. The city has invested in public golf like never before. So, if you haven't played a city course in a while, try it. I assure you, you're gonna love it. Memphis Public Links.
Hey fellas, Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and I want to ask you a question. Do you have any gift-giving occasions in May? Does somebody special have a birthday? Or maybe you have an anniversary this month that it would be very wise not to forget. Do you need to remember a hard-working graduate with a little present that tells them how proud you are of their achievement? Or maybe a Mother's Day gift for your mom or your wife. And you never go wrong with a gift for no reason at all. Just a gift that simply says, I love you. For over 37 years at Russell Brothers, we've been helping men out of their gift-giving dilemmas. Our A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, along with the beauty of our jewelry and our quality, value, and service. That's why our thousands of loyal customers have been coming to Russell Brothers for 5 decades, and they keep on coming. We invite you to Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me, 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Belly Acres' motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. 2 great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Daria or the Double Daria, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Belly Acres? To become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Belly Acres.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Standing in line, marking time, waiting for the welfare dime. 'Cause they can't buy a job. Man in a silk suit hurries by as he catches the poor old lady's eyes. Just for fun, he says, get a job.
Top Gun Maverick is a sequel that plays it safe with the story, but lets it rip in the blockbuster action sequences, giving the audience the expected need for speed. That comes from Richard Krause, who writes a review of the new Top Gun Maverick.
Who do you write the review for?
It's his own website.
Oh, I see. Is he
Was that an important detail that you needed?
Why? No, I mean,
Well,
is this
just
a
take
reputable guy?
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
one of the top reviewers.
I don't know. You're a film guy. I'm
one
not
of the
a
top
film
reviewers
guy, so.
here. I just thought it was a good snippet.
No,
got a
I
little
thought
more
it was
of a
great.
snippet
That's what
later.
That's what I was curious about.
But we're not going to start this segment with, even though I just read that, we're not going to start here with movies, but we are going to talk about, that was a tease,
That was a
Brian. I don't know if you know a
tease
radio tease
Yeah.
when you hear one, but I was teasing something we're going to talk about in a little bit later.
I see.
But first, I want to talk about this, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, there was a lot of day ball, as you like to call it. Some day ball.
Love day ball.
Whenever I hear day ball, by the way, I think of the 80s song Day Bow Bow.
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
You know Day Bow Bow?
I think I do.
Day Bow Bow. Day Bow Bow. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I know that song.
Yeah, you know it?
I know.
Everyone knows.
Everybody knows it.
But no, we had day ball yesterday, Bryant. And yesterday, a game that caught my eye, happened to catch, and I know you got some stuff to say about baseball as well. But a game that caught my eye yesterday was the Mets and the Giants. A player for the Mets was making his starting debut yesterday, Bryant.
Oh, that was a
Thomas.
day ball game.
It was. It was like a 3:00 game or something.
I thought you were gonna say, you know what I think about every time I say day ball is Brian Dayball.
Oh, Brian
Coach.
Dayball.
That's where I thought
like
you were
whenever
going with
whenever
that.
anyone says crystal ball, I'm like Mario Crystal Ball.
Crystal ball.
But no, the
yeah.
pitcher for the Mets made his debut yesterday. Thomas Zapucki is his name. Zapucki.
This was the MLB debut or a season debut?
I think he pitched one relief game last year,
He appeared
but
in
it was
one
his.
game last
But
year.
for all intents and purposes, this is his
yeah.
debut for Thomas Zapucki. And I mean, he comes out. So Darren Ruff this is for the Mets. So Darren Ruff for the Giants leads off. K, first batter,
Oh, wow.
debut, strikes out Darren Ruff. And Zapucki, I mean, they're whipping the ball around, throwing it around the horn. Oh, man, Zappucki's got to be feeling good. One up, one down, debut, great day. Then Wilmer Flores comes up and hits about the hardest double I've ever seen hit to the left center gap. Just trots in for two very easily. Although he actually was booking it to second, but he still got second. I believe standing up. I mean, that ball was hit hard, and you got to think if you're Zappucki, you're thinking now, all right, that ball was hit really hard, but we're 50%. I struck Darren Ruff out.
Next guy up.
Wilmer Flores, and then you got Yaz coming up next, and he's a little scared of Yaz, so he walked him. So now first and second are on base, and Evan Longoria.
You're 33% with all of these.
But even a walk, they were good pitches, aggressive pitches. They were competitive.
Okay.
Then Evan Longoria comes up and hits a bomb to the deepest part of center field.
Ooh, that's not great.
3-run home run, and now Zappucki's looking around like, oh, God, the wheels are falling off a little bit. He walks Thairo Estrada next. The wheels are still falling off a little bit. Then Jock Peterson comes up and hits a moonshot that makes Evan Longoria's looks like a routine line drive. I mean, an absolute shot that was murdered. He had 2 bombs yesterday, Jock Peterson did. Wow. Have you seen Jock Peterson, by the way, lately, Bryant?
I believe so.
He's got his blonde hair going, but he's faded the side. He looks like a member of Good Charlotte. I don't know if you know the band Good Charlotte. Bryant, he looks like a Green Day superfan who shows up at the concert with his hair styled like the drummer Trey Cool. I blew the end of the joke because I forgot the drummer's name for a second. You're not John. Bryant, he looks like Gwen Stefani. You know when Gwen Stefani used to fade the sides of her hair, and then it would just be a blonde, like, mohawk that just goes down into a mullet? That's what he looks like. But he's hit 4 bombs in his last 6 at-bats, Jock Peterson has, and that amounts to hitting 170 in the month of May. It's May 26th. He's hit 4 bombs in his last 6 at-bats. He's hitting 170. Zappucki had a rough night, though, Bryant.
My God.
1.1 innings pitched, 7 hits, 9 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 Ks. He gave up 4 bombs, Bryant. His ERA right now.
I just saw it. That's where my oh my gosh came
his
from.
His ERA right now sits at 60.75. So a rough debut for Zappucki yesterday, I think. Tough game. Also, I heard this story. This is an aside. I did not plan to talk about this. The whole joke was just the name that Zappucki has a 60.75 ERA now. That was the punchline.
Oh, my gosh.
But Jock Peterson, they were talking about 2 days ago, when he hit the walk-off to win the game. Or maybe it was just a late – no, it was a walk-off.
Yeah.
Or maybe just go ahead. Either way, he hit a home run to win the game. And he was talking – he hit 3 home runs that game. I think he hit 1 yesterday. He hit 3 the game before. Getting off track.
Yeah.
He said he was talking to Barry Bonds. He got to the field like 4 hours before game time, and they sit in the cages talking up until 45 minutes till the game started. He wasn't even dressed, Jock Peterson wasn't.
Really?
He was just talking to Barry Bonds about hitting. And they were saying, like, first of all, great guy to talk to about
guy to
hitting.
learn from.
Knows quite a bit.
Yeah.
He's hit 4 bombs since then, by the way, since
Hey,
he talked to him.
something worked.
So something's working.
Yeah.
But they were saying, like, Barry Bonds said, man, your approach when you got, he's like, when I got to be at a certain point playing here, I just had to pick out one pitch for an entire game and know they were going to throw it at least once.
Right.
And I can't miss my opportunity. The guy hit 750-plus home runs picking one pitch out while playing for the Giants. Unbelievable.
It's the
And
steroids.
he was like, well, yeah. But someone had to swing the bat. But Jock Peterson says that approach changed his entire at-bats, and it's clearly has.
Well, that is interesting.
I thought it was really interesting, actually.
No, that's fascinating. But also, I mean, and this obviously isn't to the extent, but it's kind of the same thing. I don't know if you've noticed Juan Yepez
This
with
guy,
the Cardinals.
this guy has a great swing. I mean, this is a
Fantastic,
pro
beautiful
baseball player
swing.
right
I mean,
here, which you saw him play
saw him all
because
year
you've
last
got
year
your
in
Memphis
Memphis.
baseball
Yeah, I
sweatshirt
do.
on because you're a big Redbirds guy. You saw this guy, and you had been telling me
Beat
since
reporter.
last season, beat
Yeah.
reporter, that he really hits the ball well,
No, he
swings a
does,
hot bat, and that's evident, translated to the pros,
Well, but
big time.
do you see him every time he's in the dugout? You see, like, who he's around?
Albert.
He's right next to Albert with an iPad. I mean, I think this was on because, last weekend was a terrible weekend. Friday, they were on Apple Plus. Saturday, it was regular. And then Sunday they were
was
on
on
Peacock.
but they won like 12-0, and
yeah.
it was 12-0 in like the third inning, so you didn't have to watch
I
that.
don't remember.
First of all, timeout. Can't put Peacock games on in the morning or
Oh my
afternoon.
gosh, it's
like,
horrible.
Put it on NBC. Who in the world can access Peacock at noon?
I bought Peacock just so I could watch the game.
Well,
and
I
I was
had
at
Xfinity.
church,
I
so
had
I could
Xfinity.
only see, like, the last 2/3 of the game. So I don't remember if it was the Peacock game or the Apple Plus game. But
Apple
in
TV
one
is
of
one
them-
thing. It's Friday night. That's a good thing. Anyway,
and right
back
now
to
they're
your
doing
point.
it for free, so you don't really have to pay for it. I think at the end of this, I think next month you have to start paying for the
Anyway,
Apple
Juan
Plus game.
Yepez talking to
So
Albert.
one of the ones they had their sideline reporter who was doing an interview or was talking about Albert and Juan and everything, and she said that Albert is getting to the point where Juan is kind of annoying to him
Because he's just like a puppy
because
dog, like on him
every
all the time.
he after his bat, he'll walk up to him with an iPad and be like, Albert, can we watch my swing? What I did at that at bat? Tell me what I did wrong so I can learn. That is amazing.
Kind of like Barry Bonds, though, a guy you want. There was a video.
It's a great person to learn from.
There was a video this summer of Albert talking to somebody. It might have been Yachty. He was talking to somebody in a cage. It was like a phone video of them in like a net cage. And it was just Albert talking about your approach and your swing and how, like, no matter how many I hit, I always want to think middle the other way.
Yeah.
I could listen to great hitters talk about their approach at the plate for days, man.
Well, and also,
it's so interesting. When you see people like prop up guys like Joey Gallo, who's an easy target right now because he's playing awful.
Right.
But even when he wasn't playing awful, just whiffers like that hit for low average but hit a lot of home runs. When you hear Albert and guys like that talk about their approach, you're just like, there is no way guys that play the new
insane.
modern day of baseball hit like that.
Well,
or even think like that.
And, when Albert signed, a lot of people were talking about, oh, he's going to be a good bat against, lefties, yada, yada, all this stuff.
He's hitting like 400 against
No,
lefties.
he's fantastic. But, like, all these...
And we're getting too many at bats against righties, by the way.
I think another great thing to have him just in the clubhouse is you're bringing all these young guys up, like Juan Yepez, like Nolan Gorman. I mean, it's a great guy to learn from.
Great
if you're
point.
one of these guys that hit bombs like those two do. I mean, Juan Yepez was the offensive player of the year in the Redbirds or in the Cardinals, the entire system last year. And Nolan Gorman led AAA just a month ago with home runs, and now both of them are learning from Albert Pujols.
Can learn from Albert easily.
Yeah.
You make a great point with that. I totally agree, and I see it evident in another team that is sneaky good. One game over 500, but in fourth place in their division. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh, my
When
God.
you add Madison their pitching rotation has been very good.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
Not excellent because they're minus 16
But
run
they're
differential.
good.
But they're really not bad. You add Madison
That team's been
Bumgarner.
awesome this year.
I feel like now Arizona was awful last year.
But they've been good this year.
But down the stretch, they were still like I did the math a couple days ago because I was arguing with one of my buddies about it, and I think they finished the season like 25 and like 40 or 25 and 30
They're bad.
something.
They're real
but
bad.
but that's still better than what they cumulatively did
Right.
for the whole season. And down the stretch, you really saw them starting to turn it on. They were kind of giant killers in a small way.
Yeah.
They beat the Dodgers a couple times. I know they beat the Braves a couple times. But the point is that's translated to this year. And I think just adding a guy like Madison Bumgarner, just like Albert,
Yeah.
it drags everybody else with you.
Oh, yeah.
A rising tide lifts all boats, Brian.
Ooh.
That's the
Ooh.
saying.
Wow.
And that's an excellent segue to another kind of transportation, but not in water and air.
Ah.
Top Gun Maverick. To Richard Krause, what I was reading from a minute ago. Top Gun Maverick screenwriters. I can't read these guys' names. They're too. I'm going to mess them up. Aaron Kruger, Eric Warren Singer, and Christopher McQuarrie. That's how I'm
Okay.
going to say those names. But the screenwriters for Top Gun Maverick keep the story simple. A splash of romance, a dash of remorse, some shirtless volleyball, and a mountain of eye-popping aerial action. That is from Richard Krause's
So
review
the,
of Top
the
Gun
first
Maverick.
Top Gun.
I'm telling you, I might have to. It might force me to revise my top 5 volleyball movies of all time.
Do you have them right now?
Do I have my top 5? I think I do have my top 5 volleyball movies of all time. Actually, you know what? Let me. Oh, I've got it, Brian. I found them. I've got
How
my top
about
5
that?
volleyball movies of all
Okay.
time. Do you want to hear my top 5 volleyball
Sure,
movies of
give
all
them to
time?
me.
Okay, Brian. Here we go. Starting at 5 or 1?
Let's do 5.
We start at 5 usually. Okay. Number 5. I don't even have an OLI for this because I couldn't
Okay,
make it more
right.
than.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of volleyball movies.
There's
I mean,
not a
I'm
ton.
interested about this.
Number 5, Bryant.
Okay.
Cloud 9. Stars Burt Reynolds. It's a volleyball movie. Came out in like
Right.
2006. Not good. But it was the 5th volleyball movie
Had
I
to
could
put
think
one
of.
in there.
Number 4. You're going to love this one. Hopefully you've seen it. Air Bud Spikes Back.
Oh.
I mean, a legendary movie. A dog plays volleyball, learns to bump, set, and spike. It's a great. That was a car. You know, remember back in the day, Brian? You're close enough to my age to remember car movies, right?
Oh, yeah.
You would go on road trips with your family. Your mom would have the DVD player in the car, and you would have like 3 movies or around there in the car that you would watch over and over again. Air Bud
Interesting
Spikes
enough,
Back was another one for me.
My car ride movie was actually Full House,
That's not a movie though.
but it was a show I'd watch it on repeat on the way to the beach.
That's a good one, though. I
Yeah.
do like Full House. Number 3, Top Gun. I mean,
Oh.
the top 5 volleyball movie. It features volleyball as prominently as any of these other movies.
Yeah.
You have that one beach scene. You're not John. I've called you like John like 6
It's okay.
times. You get that one beach scene. It's a really good beach scene, but
Yeah.
it's been surpassed now by my number 2 volleyball movie of all time and top 5 volleyball movies. Number 2, Top Gun Maverick. I haven't
even
seen it
seen
yet.
it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Wait a
but
minute.
look at all the attractive people, Bryant, that are in this movie, and they're going to be shirtless on the beach
On the
playing
beach,
volleyball.
I mean, I guess you're right.
Miles Teller. I'm sure there's good-looking women too. I
just
don't know any of
if
the
you can
characters.
put number 2.
Miles Teller, I've heard, is a
Wait.
jerk too. By the way,
So
isn't that a shame?
in the first Top Gun,
What's your favorite Miles Teller movie?
I'll be honest. Don't know any movies Miles
Yeah,
Teller's been in.
you've
Let me
seen,
look up.
You've seen. He's in a bunch of romantic comedies.
I don't watch a lot of romantic comedies. He's playing Goose's son.
Yeah, he's Goose's son.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've seen any of these movies.
Wow, you don't know much about my. But anyway, what were you were going to say something? You were going to say something before I really interrupted you.
I was gonna say that
He was in Whiplash, by the way, with J.K. Simmons. One of the best movies I've ever seen.
Never seen it.
Excellent movie. Highly recommend.
In the first Top Gun, none of the women played. Well, there's only one woman in the movie. 2, I guess.
That's why
Goose's
this
wife.
is a new age.
New age,
Of,
I see.
I don't know if
So
women
there's
actually play
more-
volleyball, but I'm guessing. And even if they don't, I mean,
in this movie.
these are some good
Well, I
looking
was
men.
gonna say that they didn't in the first one, but then I remember that there's only like 2 in the entire movie.
Number 1
I'm just so
volleyball
shocked that
movie
you
of
have
all time.
a 2 on your list you haven't even seen.
Number 1
Ridiculous.
volleyball movie of all time, Bryant.
Ridiculous.
Castaway. I mean, name a movie that features a volleyball more than Castaway. It's a volleyball movie, Bryant, and I'll explain it
He's
to
the-
you why in
one
a
of the
very
main
simple way.
characters.
Exactly. What is a movie that stars Tom Hanks called? It's a Tom Hanks movie, right? Right? Any
Elvis.
movie starring Tom Hanks is a Tom Hanks movie.
Right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. So what would a movie where the second co-star, the main co-star, is a volleyball? Would that be a volleyball movie, Bryant? He's
would-
a star. It sounds like a
would
volleyball
assume
movie
so.
to me. So number 1 volleyball movie of all time is Castaway.
Did the volleyball get an Oscar for that movie?
No, we didn't have enough lines. I think you have to have a certain number of lines to be
I
nominated
see.
for a supporting actor role.
That makes
Best
sense.
actor in a supporting role. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, though, for Top Gun Maverick.
Maverick.
99% audience score.
Wow.
It's being acclaimed, honestly.
It comes out
tomorrow, but you can go see it
technically.
today.
Right.
I might go see it today, actually. Did you like the first Top? You've seen the first Top Gun.
love
You watched
the
it
first
last
Top Gun.
night, right?
I rewatched it last night just to because I knew we'd be talking about it today. Watched it, made me want to go buy a bomber jacket and some aviators and just not fly because I'm afraid of.
Do you
afraid
like
of flying?
Do you like the first Top Gun?
First Top Gun's awesome.
Is
Val
it-
Kilmer, fantastic.
You like Val Kilmer?
I love Val. He's
One
in
of
my
your favorite
favorite
actors.
movie. Well, I mean, I guess so because he's in one of my favorite movies. Tombstone. Love Tombstone.
Love
A little
Tombstone.
Wild West action, you know.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, great movie.
Sad thing about Val Kilmer too is he can't act anymore. He's like
So,
losing his voice.
That's
Something's
what you
wrong
told
with his
me,
vocal.
because in the movie,
I'm pretty sure his vocal cords are deteriorating. Is actually what's happening, which is very sad.
Because in the movie, he's
Batman, you know.
like he's dead in the movie, right?
Yeah, I think here's what I've heard is either he's like in a cockpit or something with no lines, or there's a picture of him that they reference.
Well, in the trailer, they show a picture of him on the wall.
So I think he's still credited as an actor or a cameo or something, but he can't talk. He's
this
losing his
isn't
voice.
like this isn't similar to what Bruce Willis has.
No, Bruce Willis has dementia or Alzheimer's.
No,
right?
no. He has something that's like
Vocal cord thing.
It's
Maybe it's the
I
same
don't know.
then.
It's something with
Something
his,
is eating vocal cords of all our
but
favorite
I don't
actors
think, I don't
in
think
action
it's
movies.
vocal cords. I think it's like he can't talk. Like he's having trouble. Like
Well, we're not
talking
doctors,
or
Brian. We
something.
can't.
I don't know.
We can't. I do want to read a couple of reviews from this though,
Sure.
because I have a few different. I have
because
one.
you're excited about this.
I very
too.
much am. I have one more quote from Richard Krause here. Maverick works because it blends old and new in a crowd-pleasing way.
Oh.
Unlike other recent 1980s and 90s reboots, it salutes the original in tribute. Loud and proud, it wears its superficiality on its sleeve in an old-fashioned, last-century style that is unabashed fan service. So it seems like it's more of a tribute to the old movie. It's not a reboot, and that is more evidence here.
Is she gonna be in it? Is she in this movie? The blonde chick that he's going after the whole movie.
I believe that Tom Cruise is the only, and Val Kilmer are the only two reprising
Okay.
roles.
Who
John
plays,
Hamm is in it too. By the
Who
way.
plays Goose in the? Who is that actor? Do you know? He's not in this. He's not, well, he dies in the first one, so I guess he
I can't remember his name.
would not be in this one.
Anyway, this comes from Dana Stevens. Even if you don't, and she writes for Slate. She's
Okay.
a reviewer for Slate. Even if you don't harbor any fond feelings for the 1986 Top Gun, could be a lot of people out there. It's kind of hokey.
Right.
Even if you don't harbor fond feelings for the 1986 Top Gun, a movie that upon its release was seen by many as a glamorized recruitment commercial for the Reagan-era military buildup, it's not hard to appreciate the care that went into this lovingly tooled sequel, a far better film on the sheer level of craft than its original. So this is actually an indictment, or not an indictment.
I'm saying it's better.
This is saying that it's better than the
Wow.
original Top
That's
Gun.
hard to do.
Which the reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, the percentages would show that as well.
Right.
This last one, I have to read a negative one too, because you got to be balanced here.
Balanced, yeah.
This comes from Ty Burr, who writes for his own website, Ty Burr. He's a pretty well-known reviewer, though.
Oh, is he?
Is
that like
he
some
wrote
reviewers
this,
do? They
he
do
wrote
their
this
own
yes-
websites instead of
nowadays a lot,
Okay.
other than like Roger Ebert.
Right.
Rogers Ebert. I don't know how to say his name. Anyway, he wrote this yesterday on the wake of a very sad event in Texas. He says, a movie like Top Gun Maverick is not what it shows, but what it studiously looks away from. The human costs of war and violence, the bloodshed and PTSD, the complexities of conflict and the dirty histories that lead us into places like Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran. So Ty seems like he's very fun at parties.
yeah.
That was a very sad review.
That was a sad
But I want to go see Top Gun Maverick to end on a more positive
You're
note.
excited about the end. What's the other movie you're gonna go see?
I want to see Bob's Burgers
Bob's
movies as well.
Burgers.
That comes out today as well. That actually, I was very surprised, got 91% on Rotten Tomatoes as well.
Because
So
you said the show hasn't been very good lately.
the last couple seasons have not been good. And we don't even have time for this. We have to take a break. But we were also excited for the Elvis movie. You read
Well,
it.
we're nervous about
Did
the
you
Elvis
have
movie.
you don't have the headline in front of you that you were reading earlier?
I don't. But
Do
it
you
said
remember
it
what
wasn't
it
good.
was?
It said that the Elvis movie is basically Bohemian Rhapsody at 4,000 miles an hour.
That's what I would have imagined. When we come back, we'll do something different. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system cleaned? How about a safety inspection? Right now, Conway Service is offering our 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system for only $69. That's right, for only $69, we'll come out and perform our 16-point energy-saving Super Tune-Up on your heating system. We'll also include a complete safety inspection using our state-of-the-art camera system, making sure your heating system is safe to operate this winter. Plus, we'll run a carbon monoxide test on your heating system, all for only $69. You can have the peace of mind knowing your heating system is safe and ready for those cold winter nights. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. Call this week and we'll perform your heating system tune-up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hey, I got Jeff Allen live on the phone. Hey, what's going on over there at Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah?
Look, Randy, it's crazy over here, and that's because we'll do whatever it takes to put you in a new Kia today. Check this out. I've got a 2022 Kia Forte LXS, only $219 a month, and a 2022 Kia Soul LX, $240 a month. Both 36-month lease and $27.99 due at signing. And if you're looking for some SUV action, 2022 Kia Sorento LX, $315, 36-month lease, and $34.99 due at signing.
And I know all Gossett Kias are equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
That's right, Randy. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. All 36-month leases, Forte NE 483 548, MSRP 21435, sold NHO 2976, MSRP 22045, Sorento NG 116657, MSRP 31290. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/2/22. Dealer stock only. Warranties. A limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Remember when Anderton's was your favorite place? Well, it's been reborn as The Cove, with all Anderton's memorabilia and more. Enjoy happy hour daily from 4 to 7 with Johnny Harden $5 lemon drops, the most extensive bourbon bar in Memphis, and extraordinary bar grub. My favorites, raw fresh oysters, the best oysters Rockefeller, and stoner pie, made from cream cheese, rotel, beef tamales, and Fritos. The Cove also has great paninis and pizza. There's plenty to do at The Cove, too. Trivia Tuesday, Karaoke Wednesday, and live bands every Friday and Saturday. Find out the weekend lineup on Facebook or call 901-730-0719. Remember when you had a favorite place called Anderton's? Well, it's back as The Cove, 2559 Broad Avenue. The Cove, your favorite place to go.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
I'm not Dave Woloshin, and neither is Brian.
No, I'm not.
Wow, we're really out of time. Bryant, you had something you want to say about baseball? Is that as good an intro as I can give you?
I got a problem with MLB.
Continue, please.
Okay. Do you ever watch the highlights on MLB YouTube page?
I don't. I watch
You
Quick
don't?
Pitch every day.
Oh, well, that's great. Sometimes I, want to watch one game and I don't want to wait for it on Quick Pitch like you do.
You want to watch the condensed game
so
on
I
like the
wanna watch
website,
well,
or just the highlights?
I just go on YouTube and watch the highlights.
Wow,
real
you
quick,
can't even
super late at night,
you can't even stick around for a condensed game. You just gotta watch the highlights.
Well, it's not even that. I'm looking out for the public.
Yeah.
So last week I get on MLB's YouTube page,
Mm-hmm.
and I go and I pull up it was Blake Snell's season debut for San Diego. They were playing the Phillies. So it's the first inning. We've got 2 on, 2 out. Blake Snell with a 3-2 count. Who's up? I don't know, like Alec Braum or something like that. He's up to bat.
Boom.
Boom. Whatever. Braum, boom, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, 3-2 count. It was on the Phillies broadcast. So what do you know? Alec gets a hit. But then earlier, Blake Snell had a strikeout. Guess what broadcast it was on?
The Padres.
Padres.
So you think?
So if you watch enough of these highlights or enough of the games, if you have something like MLB TV or something like that, you're going to know what happens before the play even happens.
That's literally what they do on Quick Pitch.
Is it really?
They use the broadcast audio rather than people like giving, which is way better, by the way.
Well,
It's a
maybe
far
I have a problem
superior.
with everybody.
It's a far superior way to watch highlights. The fact that that's your problem,
That's my problem.
is that you don't have people saying, "Oh, and this next at bat from so and so,
No, I'm
he
not
hit it
saying
right
that.
a second." How would you hear the audio of the
Just
game?
use the same one. Be consistent. That's what they do in the NBA.
No, you have to give credit. No, if the Grizzlies make a highlight, Pete Pranica is probably more enthusiastic about it than the opposing.
I understand.
No, you clearly don't because you have a problem with this,
I do
Brian.
have a problem
I don't
with
even
it.
know. So here's the behind.
It's a 3-2
no, time out.
count with 2 outs. I want to see
Time
what
out.
happens.
Behind the curtain here, we had 3 topics we were debating talking about here. It was this stupid thing Brian just brought up. I was maybe going to preview the Mavs Warriors, or I could talk about the Rangers playing tonight.
What was the problem
Because I dominated the show today far too much, I talked way more than I wanted to. I decided to be a good teammate and say, you know what, Bryant? You came with a couple topics today. I'm going to pass you the ball here for the end of the show, and that's what you gave me.
It's my problem with MLB.
Luckily, you can hear more of Bryant today at 3 o'clock on Sports Time with Gabe and Stats.
I might bring it back up.
And he
Who
might
knows?
bring it up again. In the meantime, though, Johnny Radio's up next. See you later. Bye-bye.
When you think about insurance and you want great value